We the Champs podcast, sports show, freaking debate show, even though I'm just debating with myself. I'm your host, Jay, and it's good to be back. Apologies for the little hiatus, but we're going to act like that never happened, like I was here the whole time. All right. It was some pretty good sports over the weekend. You know, we still have the NBA Finals going. That might be over tonight with Denver taking it in 5 games. What else? We have some nice boxing matches. Not sure if you guys follow that. What was his name? Teofimo Lopez defeated Josh Taylor for the junior welterweight title, and then he retired. 25 and retired. But I understand. This boxing, you don't want to keep getting hit in the head. Amanda Nunes retained her title by unanimous decision in the UFC. Charles Oliveira in the UFC got a TKO head kick. So, hey, it's all been going on. But we're going to get started with some NFL today. I'm going to call this one running back purgatory. But before I get into this mix real quick, call to action for me real quick. Hit that like, subscribe. Share with everybody, your uncle, your auntie, your granddad, your granny. All right. Running back purgatory. It's becoming a serious issue right now. Let me not say serious. These guys are still getting millions of dollars. Come on. However, a lot of them aren't really getting their necessarily market value or their true market share in the NFL. So what we have here, 3 players denying their exclusive franchise tag. We have Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, and Josh Jacobs. All right, let's run down a little history check on all 3 of those running backs. You have Saquon Barkley. He was the number 4 pick, 2018, I think, 17, something like that, one of those years. And he just hit the ground running. One of the greatest pound-for-pound running back prospects to ever get drafted. He went through some injuries, had a comeback season, was the focal point of this Giants offense, or was he? And he has yet to sign the $10.1 million franchise tag tender for the offseason. We had Dalvin Cook. Now, I believe Dalvin Cook was offered the franchise tag, but he also turned that down. And now Dalvin Cook is actually a free agent looking for a new home to get paid. And you have Josh Jacobs. Now, this past season, there were some great running backs, man. There was some just terrific running back play. However, I really wanted to vote this guy Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Jacobs. He had over 1,600 rushing yards and 53 receptions, 400 yards. He was a killer in fantasy for me. And it just sucks, man. These guys aren't getting the money that the superstars of their caliber should. All right, let's go on to Saquon Barkley. So Saquon's holding out. They placed a non-exclusive tag for $10.1 million. He is yet to sign it. He's coming off a season of 1,300 rushing yards, 10 TDs, 57 receptions, and 338 yards. I mean, I know they signed Danny Dimes to this nice contract, but Saquon's the power of that team and the face. He's the true face of that franchise, and this is really a really weird position. Now, Saquon's one guy I didn't think would sit out. Now there's some rumors going around or something that the Giants leaked that Saquon's being greedy or whatever, and Saquon's saying that's not the case. I think most of the media and most folks are gonna go with Saquon's word, just because. I mean, you never heard anything bad about Saquon. You know, he's just always been that guy, the guy in the locker room. The team loves him. Shoot, I love him as a fantasy owner. This season, I pick him. I pick Saquon every year, man, and I'm just like, bro, please. Because I got him on this rookie season, and it was really fascinating how he turned up. He was the number 8 pick. But, yeah, so he hasn't signed yet. I feel like with Saquon's deal and Josh Jacobs' deal, it's going to go a lot to the it's going to be that franchise tag. They're going to get the franchise tag or whatever with incentives. So, you know, if you hit this number of yards, this number of carries, or this number of touchdowns, you'll get bonuses in that contract. Um, I do see a situation of the Giants paying him more, but it's just hard to. Let's see how old Saquon is. Somebody tell me how old Saquon Barkley is. My guess is 26. So 26 years old, coming off of, you know, he had a few injuries here and there. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's still 26. He turns 27. Let's see. He turns 27 next year. Come on. Let's give this man a nice little extension till he's about 28. Not sure that's going to happen, but I think Saquon's at a place where he is worth that value. Okay. All right. Now looking at somebody else in his position, Josh Jacobs is holding out after he was the rushing champion for the 2022 football season. He got 1,653 yards, 12 TDs, 53 receptions, and 400 yards. Jacobs was killer. I mean, explosiveness, cutting, breakaway speed. And he really, now with Josh McDaniels, they always go back to the stigma of how he was the New England Patriots offensive coordinator. And they typically they either went to the hot hand or they just ran, they typically ran a running back by committee approach, you know. But it was really weird, especially if you're a fantasy owner. So say Deion Lewis or whatever he played, he'd be the hot hand for 2 or 3 games. Then week 7, he would get like 2 or 3 carries. It was just so strange. But I guess they know what they're doing. So a lot of that mentality was going in the thinking of how the Raiders were going to deal with Josh Jacobs for this year. You know, they had the rookies Amir White. They had Kenyon Drake. Picked him up in free agency. But that wasn't the case. Josh Jacobs got fed in Las Vegas. Oh, my goodness. And he really upped his game. Josh McDaniels always works with pass catching backs. You know, you have to be versatile whenever you're with Josh Daniels. Or even, you know, Bill Belichick. They still work to your strengths, but you got to do a little bit of everything. And Josh Jacobs just had a superior breakout season. You know, he's had seasons where the numbers regressed. And he's had some okay seasons, but, you know, injuries are always a plague with most running backs. But this guy's 25 and in his prime right now. So, and the notion is he's taking a stand for future running backs. So I feel like if something was to be done, actually, let me come back to that. So, Josh Jacobs was franchise tag, and he's holding out. I think in this case, and what he did for that offense, especially when you're unsure at quarterback right now. I mean, I know Jimmy Garoppolo is your guy, but how healthy is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be? Like, how can you count on Jimmy Garoppolo to be there every game for the season, you know? And who's the Jarrett Stidham. He's their insurance. I know he played pretty decent in the last few games of the season when they benched Derek Carr, but come on now. We're not talking about a franchise quarterback here. But Josh Jacobs is just does so much for this offense, and I know you can get running backs to do different things, and you know a guy can come in that role and probably run for 1,000 yards, but I don't think there's 5-6 running backs in this league that can come in here and do what Josh Jacobs accomplished this past season. So I think they need to pay this man, whether it's matching, give him extension if it's matching McCaffrey or Derrick Henry's contract, maybe 14, 15 million, somewhere around there. Throw some incentives in and pay this man. I mean, he's 25, dude. Like, come on, what else? It's like, what else do you want this man to do, okay? Like, come on now. All right. And going to our last running back on this list. Also, there's another one we're going to speak of. 2 more we're going to speak of. Dalvin Cook. So, I believe Dalvin Cook turned down the franchise tag, which is the market value for running backs in the franchise tag is about $10.1 million. And they were trying to bargain for him and trade him, but it was really weird. How often does a team say, "Hey, we're looking for trade partners. We're going to trade Dalvin Cook on Friday"? I don't know what kind of play this was. If it was just to mess with Dalvin Cook, maybe it was a strategy to be like, "Okay, look, bro, we're gonna put you on the trading block. You're gonna see how much people want you and how much they actually want us for. When you can go ahead and just sign this deal with us, get this franchise tender, and just come on." Or I think they actually offered him some money, but anyways, they said they were going to cut him on Friday, and they cut him on Friday. Now Dalvin Cook is a free agent on the market, and let's see, Dalvin Cook will be 28 years old when the season starts. All right, so the notion with him is he wants big money. He wants a big contract from a team, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. Now Dalvin Cook is another running back with prolonged injury history, much like Saquon Barkley. I mean, it's fair to say at this point in his career, he's not going to get it any better. He's not going to get any faster. I mean, I guess you could get stronger. You know, you can't get more strength with age, but the explosiveness is definitely going to dwindle down. I mean, it's at this point we're just seeing his priorities. Like maybe it wasn't the team he wanted to play for. I mean, we're going to see, but he has to test this market now. A few landing spots for Dalvin Cook that I like are the Eagles, Dolphins, Broncos, and Bills. I feel like the Bills are an all-in team. So if they do not get D-Hop, they need to get Dalvin Cook. It's funny, he'll be a teammate with his brother. So he's going to infringe and ruin his brother's chances of becoming the big dog. I mean, his brother will still have a chance. Now we have the Broncos. Broncos are interesting. So Sean Payton always ran the running back by committee approach. They should be getting Javonte Williams back sometime next year, but who knows? I don't think they'll spend big money on a running back. And the Miami Dolphins. I just feel like the Miami Dolphins are a really good match for this. You know, Dalvin Cook's a Florida guy. I don't know if he's from Florida. I know he went to Florida State. It's a Florida guy, and what's one thing the Dolphins so desperately need that they didn't really possess last year? A top-notch or a tough running game. You know, running backs are okay. They have Raheem Mostert and Elijah. Do they have Elijah Mitchell? No. He's still either in San Francisco, but you get what I'm saying. I feel like that'd be a good fit right there. They break him off a decent piece of change. Give him a good share, good amount of carries. Hey, we all money there, all right? And the Eagles. The Eagles are so predicated on this run game. I know they picked up Rashad Penny coming off an injury and DeAndre Swift. But I feel like you can fit a third back there, especially if you're running the ball that many times. They ended up pretty good last season with no injuries in the backfield with Miles Sanders, Gainwell, and Scott. But you can never go with too much depth at the running back position, I feel like, especially if you're a run-heavy oriented offense. Just ask the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what the hell they be doing to their running backs. But Dalvin Cook, he's looking for big money. And I'm not sure who's going to give it to him. Now, one prospective team I would like to see him go to is the Houston Texans. So Dameon Pierce played. He got injured. He was a rookie, big-time running back. So they're not really paying him anything. But, injuries are always there. I feel like having a strong, stable backfield for your rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud, would be a big move. Now, I know people are like, oh, defensive head coach, DeMeco Ryans. He has no weapons out there. All right, let's get C.J. Stroud an elite running back he can hand the ball off to and take some pressure out of him. Dual threat back can catch it pretty good out the backfield. And you hold on to Dameon Pierce, You don't have to give him a big extension. Just just pay him decent for like a year or so. Give him, I don't know, just give him something so he can hold on pretty good for like a year and help your young quarterback out. Same thing goes for D-Hop. I actually think the Texans would be a pretty good spot for him to go, or the Panthers. Not just saying my Panthers for D-Hop, but pay him the money if you got the salary cap. I know the Panthers are third in salary cap space right now at $27 million. Let him go there. Just make him get Bryce Young comfortable. I know quarterbacks either have the skills or they don't, but confidence is a big thing, and just being comfortable helps build that confidence in your game. Actually seeing the ball being catch, momentum, big plays from your very talented receiver, just guys to spell you out. So I really like any help going there on the Texans offense for like maybe a year and some change, 2 years. Help out your young quarterbacks. All right? And so the last thing with the running back purgatory, and Ezekiel Elliott. So at this stage in Zeke's career, it's very much so a short yardage back. We saw a lot of the top end speed he had before. Where Zeke never really had top end speed, but he had decent breakaway speed. The explosiveness is gone. Tony Pollard skipped him, jumped ahead of him on the depth chart. Zeke is still a decent. He's still a decent asset to a team, but nobody's going to pay him good running back money. Zeke would be lucky to get a $3 million deal signed with the team, maybe five, depending on who we're talking about. But I doubt it. A $5 million running back it's like a 1,000-yard running back. I mean, I don't know if you saw what I saw last year. He was good, but he wasn't good. All right. So last thing, Jacob said the holdout isn't just for him. It's for the future of running back. So that's why I'm saying running back purgatory. It's kind of messed up if you think about it. Just think. All right. So I heard one analyst speaking on college football and how every team has a running back that can go to the NFL. It's all about getting the opportunity, or if you're just a super stud, just killing it out there. So, running backs, the thing is, running backs is like, all right, if there's a hole, the running back, the guy can hit the hole. Anybody can hit a hole, run, and pick up the yardage. Blocking inside pass protection from the running back position shouldn't be too crazy. Just put a hat on whoever's coming in there. But some of these guys are anomalies, man. You look at the McCaffreys, the Henrys, the Saquons, the Jacobs, even going back to the Adrian Petersons. Man, these guys are truly the revenue drivers. When McCaffrey is up the street in Carolina, if McCaffrey wasn't playing, that's a hard game to want to go see. And McCaffrey, his few years in Carolina, he was the number one jersey seller other than Cam Newton's years. So you're looking at guys that are number one jersey sellers. They're getting butts in the seat for the games. And they're top dogs in fantasy. I mean, they're pushing the ESPN, the NFL, whatever, Yahoo, fantasy apps. They're pushing all of that. And these guys aren't getting their fair share of the pie. They're the faces that people come to see. And I feel like something has to be done with that. Now, I know their second running back contract is when they get their money, but even that's a damn struggle. So it seems like, running backs should be paid retroactively on what they have done. But that's a whole that's crazy. But that'll be a whole thing that transitions to other positions. But these guys work hard. They work hard, just as hard as anybody, just as good athletes as anybody else on the NFL football field, and it's just hard to watch these guys not really getting their true value. I mean, all these guys are getting money, but you know what I mean. So I feel like maybe these three running backs or whoever should really take a stand and push for something to be done in running back negotiations. Maybe incentives here and there. Maybe in the cap space, there'd be incentives like, okay, if you hit the 1,300-yard mark, you get this much of a bonus. Or if you get this many touchdowns and such, you get this much of a bonus. I feel like that should be more emphasized for these guys going forward. I'm not saying giving them a pass rusher bag or wide receiver money, but we got to do something for these guys. These running backs are the ones hitting the hole, getting tackled. I mean, you get 300 and something carries. You get 350 carries in a season. You're not scoring 50 touchdowns. You're getting hit on at least 320 of those plays, if you're not running out of bounds. So really got to consider the effort and what these guys put towards and the work they put on the team and to the field and for the league to help us enjoy it and just watching the game and fantasy sports in general, all right? But that's all I got on this NFL edition of Running Back Purgatory on We the Champs. You guys know the drill. Like, subscribe. We the Champs. We out.